Hello and welcome to another edition of ProtoMet's First Impressions, where I give my thoughts on the first episode of any new tokusatsu series. And in today's episode, I'm going to be talking about the first episode of X-Garion, the new Korean tokusatsu series that came out back in August. In my defense, I didn't know until fairly recently that this show even existed, and only within this past week that it was actually from earlier this year. So I'm a little late to the party, I will admit, but I finally got around to watching the first episode. I've been busy, and was completely unaware of the fact that the episode lengths are like around 13 minutes, so I've only watched the first episode, so here's my thoughts on X-Garion with just the first episode. That's what this video is for. Just off the bat, it feels like a shortened Super Sentai show. The costumes that were present in the show did have a Super Sentai-y look to them, kind of a like a bit of a cross between Super Sentai and Metal Heroes, yeah. Metal Heroes / Kamen Rider. Just kind of in between there. They got, the heroes had different colors and all that. I did like how the show started off with a basic explanation of the general plot of the show by explaining what this, explaining the history of this mysterious object called the Megastone, and how everybody wants to get their hands on them. And then basically by explaining that the villains of this series, known as Black Legion, have come to conquer Earth in their attempt to get their hands on the Megastone. And that in order to stop them, another group called X-Garion exists to battle them. But this episode doesn't really focus too much on the X-Garion members, at least not the current members. It starts off with a dream sequence that this one young man is having, in which he's a gunslinger, and at the end of the dream sequence he faces off against a man with an eye patch in a quick draw, and he pulls out a chicken wing or something because it's a dream. That's when you realize that he's having a dream. This is when you realize he's having a dream sequence. And one thing that I have to point out right here, because of how much I noticed it, everyone, at least in this first episode, sounds like they've been dubbed over. Even though this show is from Korea, and I presume that the version I was watching was them speaking Korean, they sounded like somebody was doing a voiceover in a recording booth to go with the visuals. That was a bit jarring, I'm not going to lie. So I'm not entirely sure if that's actually their voices that I heard when I watched the video. But it was weird. But anyway, the young man wakes up from his dream. I think the young man, if I remember correctly, is named Gaon. I don't know Korean nearly as much as I do Japanese, and I don't know a whole lot of Japanese. So I'm probably mispronouncing some stuff. Turns out he works at his grandpa's restaurant, I guess? Chicken wing? I don't know what they sell. It looked like they had little McDonald's sauce packets when he went out for delivery. And he goes out for Gowan goes out for delivery when the Black Legion attacks. And then X-Garion shows up and fights off the Black Legion, and then the Black Legion go away, and so do X-Garion, and it's a thing. And I think at one point Gowan, I don't know. Okay. I think at one point he gets knocked unconscious or something, and then he wakes up in his own bedroom, and is surprised at the fact that he's in his own bedroom. Apparently he was taken back to his grandpa's restaurant by the guy who runs X-Garion, whom the grandpa knows because they have a conversation that Gallon just kind of eavesdrops onto because he has woken up at this point, and he's going to find how he got back there. And then the X-Garion leader guy, he leaves, and Gallon goes after him because during the conversation between the commander guy and his grandpa, they mentioned that Gallon's father is perhaps still alive, which is, I think, the first indication that we're given that he thought his dad was dead. So, the implication that his dad may still be alive is motivation to ask this commander guy, what's up, what's going on? So the commander does kind of explain the situation to him, at least as far as what X-Garion is and what the Black Legion are. And then we get a villain and some mooks. And the villain, when he shows up, he's just a guy. But he looks like a cartoony anime villain kind of character. You know that, like, I immediately saw him and I just like thought, wow, that guy looks like a character from Osomatsu, a show that I have never seen. I've only seen what the characters look like. I know next to nothing about the show. But this villain guy looks like, I don't know, a side character or something from Osomatsu. I don't know how else to describe the character. He looks like a cartoony villain. like with the twirly mustache look. That kind of villain. It was like, oh, yep, that guy's a villain. not because he's threatening it in any way, but he looks snidely, like a snidely Whiplash type character, sort of thing. And none of this is making sense to anybody who doesn't know what Osomatsu and Dudley Do-Right are. So he shows up, and so the X-Garion commander and Gallon, they take off because Gallon had gone after the commander to ask about his father when the villain showed up, but since the villain brought mooks with him, the commander decided to hightail it out of there using basically a teleportation device, which he activates using a... I'm not gonna lie, when he activated the teleportation device, I thought he was going to transform. He did a thing with his his watch, and he did a pose, and that activated a teleportation sequence. It's like, okay. It was fun. So, the commander dude, I don't recall his name offhand, so I'm going to keep calling him commander dude. He takes Gallon to the X-Garion base, shows him this lion-looking pistol revolver thing. I can't remember what they called it. Basically, if Gallon can hold this thing, then he can become a member of X-Garion. So Gallon tries reaching out for this thing. He's blocked by like an electrical barrier. Tries it again a bit more forcefully. Electric barrier. But at one point, he just straight up reaches his hand in there and grabs onto the thing, and it just electrifies him to the point where you can see his bones. All that comical look. And at that point, the commander's like, well, I guess you're not qualified to be an X-Garion. Because apparently you can't just simply become a member of X-Garion. You have to be worthy of being a member of X-Garion. And this was one of the tests for becoming an X-Garion. And Gallon failed, I guess. Again, at this point, I know nothing about the actual X-Garion members who showed up in costume. I know nothing of them. This is focusing solely on Gallon, who is definitely going to become the red member of the team. Like, it's pretty obvious that that's what's going to happen. It just doesn't happen in this episode. After Gallon fails to grab hold of this gun thing, the commander just tells him to leave and forget about it. And I think that's it. pretty sure that's how the episode ends. I can't remember if anything else happens. I think one of the major villains shows up in his base and talks a little bit, but I don't think it was super important. I think it was just there to have him there. This show looks like it's going to be fun. It's going to have quite a bit of comedy, but at the same time, some decent action. But I'm probably going to keep getting stuck on the fact that everybody sounds like they've been dubbed over. Now, again, we've only encountered a few characters, and only a few of them out of costume, but all the ones that were out of costume definitely sound like they've been dubbed over. For whatever reason, that's a big thing for me. It's probably the audio-visual disconnect. Like, it doesn't look like the characters on screen are the ones that are talking, even though the mouth movements are matching up. It's just that disconnect. I don't know. But I'm definitely intending to watch more of this. In fact, I've actually got the first 4 episodes that I can watch, and I'm going to be watching them after I get done uploading this video. I'm probably gonna start on it tomorrow. But this is a show that I'm definitely going to check out. I don't know that much about Korean or Korean tokusatsu. In fact, the only other Korean tokusatsu show that I've seen was a spin-off of Super Sentai, and it's an official spin-off of Super Sentai. Power Rangers Dino Force Brave, which was a spin-off of Juden Sentai Kyoryuger, which I will talk about in another video over on Gamezillon soon enough. Trust me, that is coming at some point in the future. Not the immediate future, but it is definitely on the plan. So I'm definitely gonna watch X-Garion again. The short episode lengths actually I actually kind of like that. Like I wasn't sure that they'd be able to get a whole lot of plot into such a short amount of time, but what plot they did get in there actually felt satisfying. Like I was pretty satisfied with that, and so I feel I'm going to be satisfied going forward with these fairly half-episode length episodes, if that makes any sense. So yeah, give X-Garion a watch. It's pretty good. So until next time, it's been me, ProtoMet. See ya.